has gone out there in the interwebs world. We got bloody cold day today. It was 26 yesterday, and it's 12 today. It's like,
Yeah.
where'd the nice weather go? Come back. How you going,
G'day,
Neil?
Effie. G'day, Neil.
G'day, g'day. Can't
How you
stay
going,
for long.
Effie? What's going on, Neil?
I'm sitting here in agony at the moment, debating on trying to unload some stuff off my ute.
Oh, did you go and pick up that timber, did you?
Yeah, didn't you see the post?
No, not yet.
Yeah, buddy. One of the tree trunks was just totally rotten. So sliced up a few slices for fern mounts, and the rest will turn into firewood.
You didn't post it in the group chat, Neil, so we didn't see it. Sorry.
Oh,
No.
yeah, no, I just posted it on my page.
Yeah. No, it hasn't come through on mine yet.
Oh, it's yesterday, so anyway, yeah, he said it was easy access. You can go right up to the tree, but the tree was actually down the side of his shed, which I couldn't get to. So sliced them up in 700mm lengths, and then had to roll them out
Oh, right.
past the old trunk, round another tree, round the corner, across the lawn to my car. So
Bloody hell.
by the end of the day, I was just absolutely stuffed.
Yeah.
And but the crane worked really well. And
I was just about to ask how the crane worked.
Yeah, the going through some size and density checks, etc. The bloody biggest one probably was only 150 kilos. So,
No, it's not too bad.
yeah, and the outer 3 inches on most of them are all completely rotten.
Yeah.
But the inner.
Can you stabilise that with cactus juice?
Oh no, I'm turning these into bedside tables. So.
Oh, okay.
And I'm turning down a 500mm diameter. So.
Yeah.
Losing 100mm or so off the outside's nothing. And I might even attack it with the axe to get most of it off, because it's so soft I can plunge a stick into it, But the inside's still all good. The tree was actually standing dead for over a year, so that's why it's so rotten.
Yeah.
Well, 2 trees actually, and yeah, and so it was a huge job, but the crane worked really well. Lifted up six lumps. The average was bloody, what did I work out? 600 diameter and 700 long. Well, they're all 700 long. That's what I cut them at. But I've got to turn them all down to 500 diameter times 600 long. So it should be fine. And it should be really easy, because silk yoke's so bloody soft, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's going to take more time lifting it onto the lathe and mounting it than it is to turn it, that's for sure. And then, of course, cutting the stubs off as usual.
Use your roughing gouge on that, Joe.
Yeah, so that's a job for another day. I'm going to leave me back to heel for another week. Mind you, I've still got to get them off the truck yet.
Yeah. G'day, Blair.
How you going, Blair?
Hey, gentlemen, how we doing?
Good,
Not
thank
bad.
you. And yourself, Blair?
Not so bad.
Good. See, this is where I wish we could just have the 2 non-turners as little screens and the 2 turners as big screens. I wish StreamYard would do that. That would be good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. All right.
Guys, I will be right back.
All right. Don't be long.
Okay, I just sent those 2 photographs anyway of lifting one of the pieces and the truckload to the group.
Oh, yeah. I'll have a look. Oh, yeah, I can see.
So all up, somewhere between 3/4 and a ton of timber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all went really well, actually,
Oh, that's good.
apart from bloody hard yakka. Yeah, when I worked out the pieces with 300 kilos, it was because I forgot to divide the area by 4.
Oh, yeah.
Makes a little bit of difference.
Does.
But yeah, I was supposed to go pick up some bloody tree stumps afterwards at another property, but yeah, I was struggling even driving. But no, going to pick up more timber. Plus, with all the saws and the ladders and the cant hooks and all the other gear I had in the back of the ute, there wasn't much room for any more anyway. Had to bring my little step ladder to get up on the back of the trade and manipulate them where I wanted them to go.
Yeah. The joys of getting older.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to find a pallet today to, when I take them off, they'll be in front of the camper there and out of the way so I can get the camper out still. But so it looked like your place, mate, with pallets with dirty big blanks sitting on top.
I got 15 pallets down there if you want to come and get one.
Yeah. Where'd you get 15 from? Bloody hell.
I had to buy a whole heap when we had the tiles taken off the roof.
Oh, I remember that. I don't remember 15 of them, though. Shit.
Yeah, I did it, loaded up all of them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, most people give them away down here, so.
Yeah, no, these were good hardwood ones.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm after. But yeah, they still give them away as well, but they still won't give away 15 of them, though.
I don't get to see very many hardwood ones. Every once in a while, I'll see one that has like some good cherry in it, but for the most part, it's just garbage.
No, there's a lot of. Well, we got so much hardwood here, and they mainly make them out of hardwood. It's only the ones that come out from overseas that are cheap and nasty, although we are making a lot of pine ones these days.
Yeah.
But they certainly won't take the big loads.
No, they do not. They break.
Even standing on them breaks them.
Well, they don't if I stand on them.
You bastard. Put Julie on your shoulders and then stand on it. It's funny, I bought a pair of jean-like chaps just before COVID.
G'day, Bob.
Bloody $400 odd things, and nice lightweight stuff. Went to put them on yesterday. Didn't have a hope.
How you going, Bob?
Good.
Just goes to show how
Thank
much
you.
weight I put on over COVID.
Yeah. I must admit I've put on a bit over COVID as well.
We don't talk about such things in my home.
And Effie said hello, Bob.
Hi, Effie.
Howdy, Bob.
Howdy.
Anyway, I better get back to what I'm doing. So I just thought I'd pop in to see what people were doing.
Okay. Catch you later, Neil.
Cheers.
See ya.
So how you feel today, Robo?
Not too bad.
Good.
No, just starting to work on the bits and pieces I need for the tuition on Saturday. So
So that's a term I have not heard.
what's that?
A tuition. We either call them tutorials or classes, things like that.
No, tuition is the act of teaching people.
And see, we also
Whereas
say tuition is what you pay for schooling.
Yeah, that's right. So it's being taught by somebody. Whereas a tutorial is just generally is the teacher standing in front of the class. What are you making anyway, Blair?
So the store that I'm selling my stuff at, I had a good idea that I'm going to start doing some tops and end up, just putting them in this little bin, sell them for $1.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll donate them to, I don't know, Feed the Hungry or something like that, and call it a donation. Figure it's easy and tops are easy to do. I just haven't done a lot of them.
Yeah, it's one of those objects that when I get in the mood, I can spend a day and turn out 30 or 40 of them. And then I'm tired of them for a year or two. Brown's got a neat tool that he designed for doing tops. And you can whip them out so quick. But it's on two premise. You use the tool and it's sharp, and he had to do a special video on how to sharpen it after it was out. And the other is that you make the blanks up ahead of time. It's just one piece of wood glued in another, a dowel and a piece of wood. That way you just grab them and go. It's a production turner's technique. It's probably been 4 or 5 years since I got in the mood to do them. We did them here for a children's festival in Detroit. And every kid that came was to get a top. So there were 4 or 5 of us that worked on it. And we come up with about 500, 600 of them.
Well, that went well, Blair.
Yeah, the stock is a little bit small for my chuck. It's needs to be just a hair bit bigger, I think, but we'll give her a shot.
Hey Blair, have you seen Brown's demonstration on tops at any of the woodworking shows? He's often one of the big demonstrators that continuously demonstrates all day.
No, I haven't. He's too far away from me.
Yeah. Well, he's up in years. I don't know. I knew him when he is a minister, a pastor. I knew him when he ran a cabinet shop, and he was a pastor and was rebuilding his church. I think they had a fire or something, and he and a few others that were serious carpenters chipped in and built part of it back again. If not the whole thing, but it's been, probably 25, 30 years since I heard about it.
Yeah, when we were all young and fit.
Yeah, he had a big picture of the church, and he was raising money at What the Woodworkers Show, which is a touring show here. It hits all of key major cities every year, and then the number 2 cities every other year, alternating, picking up the number 2s. And Detroit became a number 2 city in their circuit probably about 15 years ago. Being a demonstrator is not a life for me. I thought it was when I was younger, but I found out what it was like doing
It's
a
hard work,
circuit for
actually.
6 months or 8 weeks, 10 weeks it was in all. It's they try to get everybody out. They ring a bell of Claxton or walk around with PA system. Whoops, they're flying again.
I think it's time to scrap that bit, Blair, or do it between centres, one or the other.
Yeah, but yeah, I think we're done with this one. Dag nabbit.
What you need is a cup truck.
Indeed, I think you are correct. Well, what's Jay making tonight?
Not quite sure, actually. I know it involves paint.
That's fun. That'll work.
Hey Blair, you still have the heat wave?
It's 12 degrees in Jay's place at the moment.
Ooh,
Sorry, you're asking Blair.
that's chilly.
Yeah, it's only about the same in my place, even though it's quite sunny at the moment.
Actually, for the past couple days here, we've actually been flooding. And I feel really bad for those guys down in Tennessee.
Torrential rain?
Oh, those guys, they've got it really, really bad.
Yeah.
Or no,
Yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah, I've got some friends that I've known from Vietnam that are in a retirement home there, and I follow them on their Facebook page when they get time to post it. And the pictures were startling. Out their bedroom window, the water was already up to the front door of the building, 4 stories below them. They
Wow.
felt safe being 4 stories above it, but they're having all sorts of troubles. They had to brought in a second generator and flew it in by helicopter and got it going in order to keep the water from flooding the basement, because that's where all the food service and storage and stuff like that is, two stories down in the basement. And they're on a hill. The stream's just over flooded itself. It rose something like 9 feet above where the stream normally is, but it's fed from the mountains. And it's got trees that have broken down, and that's caused log jams in it, and that's what's caused the water to come up. And the local community had some pictures of them where they were using wreckers, the old cable type wreckers, and wrapping cables around some of the sticks and logs and stuff to pull them out up from the culverts under the road that kept raising the water up.
That looks better, Blair. At least you got a gap in the jaws now.
What'd you do today, Robo?
Just setting out the thing for Saturday's tuition, that's all. Having a practice run to make sure I get it right.
I think one topic that would be interesting to at least, I was going to say newcomers, but everybody, not necessarily spend it 2 hours on it, but a short section in one, if you're finding you need have an extra 20 minutes you want to fill, is lathe maintenance.
I've already done all that. I've got videos up on it.
Oh, okay. I've watched a lot of your videos. I just haven't caught up on that one. I spent about 4 hours doing some bowl making, but the bowl's not finished in any way. I was asked to do some testing of some different cutters.
Yeah, that's all right, Joe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's moving it back and forth.
Yeah, no, that's fine. They all do that.
Right, then. I'll let you off then. Sorry, Bob.
So how was your day, Jay?
It's just starting, Bob. I woke up, had breakfast, and then came out here. So I haven't actually really done too
okay.
much.
Sounds like a good Monday to me.
What have you been doing?
Well, I can tell you for sure that the rest of Monday is a good Monday because it's 9:39 at night here.
So what's the wood that you're making that bowl out of, Dr. Bob?
Oh, it's ironwood, one of the hardest wood that I know to try and cut, and it dulls blades and dulls cutters. But I
Yep.
use it for testing different tools for catches and stuff like that because it's the ultimate hard thing to use.
Yep.
And I wanted the big principle I've always learned through shattering of deep hollowed anything is that the smaller the cutter, the better, the deeper you go.
Yep.
Because it cuts down the vibration. Oh, well, he just got a jinx on him.
Hey, Effie, how come you didn't go live today?
There, Bob, there's the link to the lathe maintenance video in the private chat.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I was going to ask what you were looking up. You have this certain look on you when you're looking at something, Robbo.
Yeah, well, I'm sorting it out. Takes me a while to work things out. Do the other one again, Blair. That's it. And again. Right, that should hold the bugger in.
Thanks, Robo. Interesting. The bag behind you, Jay. A bag for good.
Sorry.
You have bags for bad. His bag behind him, bag for good.
Yeah, they're the red ones. This is the green one. No, no.
Ah, okay.
It's just because it's a recyclable one and a reusable one. That's all, and that's what South Australia has been trying to do for the last couple of years: is get rid of the one-use bags and bring in multi-use bags.
Good idea.
And if it's faulty by their fault, like a stitching comes undone or something like that, they'll replace it for free. Even though it only cost $1 to buy it to begin with, but yeah.
And Effie says she's not smart enough to do a live.
I don't say that, Effie. You got some really good friends that do lots of live. You should ask for some help. I don't mean just me. I mean you got a couple of nice ladies that do lots of lives as well. Indiana Jones, isn't it, as well? Yeah. I'm sure they'd help you.
Yeah, I did last night was an interesting night. I got to see my brother for the first time since, oh heavens, 2 years ago, June or July,
Bloody hell.
because COVID just happened to hit at the right time. That kind of kept us so we couldn't see each other.
Yeah.
No, Effie, we'd never laugh at you, you know that. We might snigger a little bit.
We'll just laugh with you, Effie, all right?
Yeah, 'cause if you can't have fun turning, you shouldn't be doing it, or anything that you do for recreation. And the trick is you have to be able to learn, laugh at yourself and pick it up and do it all over again.
Yeah. Blair ran away, apparently. Well, if you need
The
help,
problem is the wood is sticking out too far, and the side pressure on it's causing it to come out of the jaw of the chuck.
We're taking a small breather right now. Otherwise, I'm going to start throwing stuff.
Ooh! Doesn't sound like fun.
And Effie said it had me crying.
Oh, you dude.
That's no good, Effie. Jeez.
Effie's crying for Blair. How
Yeah,
nice.
no. She's trying to get her live to work, and she couldn't figure it out. What are you doing it on, Effie? Are you doing it on a computer or on your phone or a tablet? Because unfortunately, YouTube isn't the same on all of those devices.
No.
No, it's not. It makes it a little bit confusing, even for me sometimes. And also too, Effie. I don't know. I just think maybe it's got something to do with because you got the your grandkids on your channel or something. Maybe I don't know. Whoa! How you going, Blair?
That's the look of frustration.
This one.
Yeah.
Go on, go cut something you know you're not meant to, but you really, really want to.
That sounds fun.
It is if you know you're not meant to, but you want to. No, that shouldn't be the case, Effie. I've done subscribers since I've had like 20 or 30 of them. So
Yeah, geez.
all I can put it down to maybe is you just tick the wrong box.
She might be trying to go live through YouTube rather than use StreamYard like we do.
Yeah, well, StreamYard's not really good on phones. Like if you're doing a stream on your phone with StreamYard, it's really choppy and
Oh yeah.
very power hungry.
Yes.
For a phone at least, anyway.
So, Jay, what are you making tonight? Sorry.
A hollow form of a tubular hollow form.
Where?
Sir. Ah!
Looks like an hourglass, lopsided.
Well, about the shape, I
hourglass.
don't really care about. I'm just going to put a bit of, just going to hollow it out down in here, but not hollow form, just dig it out. I'm going to color it black and then add some of that gold glitter pasty stuff that I've got.
Hi, Chris.
How you going, Chris?
G'day, Chris.
So a lot of the English folks have been using this Josana stuff,
Yeah,
Josanya or something like that. I don't remember.
Joe.
Joe Sonia.
Josanya.
Yeah.
And I ordered a little test kit and have been playing around with it today. I like it. It's pretty cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
Did you get the flow mix with it?
No, they're just little tubes. I mean, like that.
Yeah. Well, no, don't thin them with water. Get the flow mix for them, because the water just dilutes it. That's all it does. But flow mix keeps the bulk of the colour in it, but it just makes it thinner to put on. Bless you.
Gesundheit.
Oh, you like me,
Hey.
Blair? My sneezes come in threes.
Have a look.
Yep.
Have a look around, Blair, and see what the flow medium's made of. You won't buy it. You'll have the products in your woodworking shelf to make it. Trust me.
Well, I'm pretty sure that it's glue based, like Elmer's glue.
Yep. And
And-
water.
I'm sure that there's some very, very fine glitter of some sort in it. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but
The iridescent side of it.
And Chris is saying he hasn't got into colouring. I'm still in awe of what the wood grains look like. Oh yeah.
yeah, the camera doesn't do it justice. It actually looks really cool.
Mhm.
You can see a purple just above the handle. Of the
Yeah,
purple.
this is actually red,
Is it?
and
It
then
doesn't look like it on the screen.
this is bluish purple with some other glitter kind of stuff on it. So pretty cool stuff, I have to admit.
Yeah, they sell well at a lot of these fairs too for kids, for the princesses. But it's both sides, both boys and girls love wands. The only drawback of a wand at a trade show is that you have to be very, very careful that you make sure you hand it to the parent first. And I speak on somewhat of an authority here in the States, because a friend of mine that he's since passed away with COVID, but was an attorney, and he handled a case that was in court about 6 years about a kid falling and hurting himself on a wand that he bought for that the father had bought for his, I don't know, son or daughter. But the thing is it was handed to the kid, and in doing so, first it becomes the liability of the person that handed it to the kid.
That's ridiculous.
But if the parent gives it to him, the parent is giving consent and takes responsibility for the kid's actions.
That is one reason why I do not have sharp ends on my wands. They're all very blunt.
Yeah, but still, you could poke an eye out. You could do a lot of stuff. But when you sell it, give it to an adult if they're because that gets around it. It's up to the adult to say, that's really nice. You take the money and they hand the wand to them and they hand it to the kid, then you're perfectly safe, because he had a couple of cases where he lost because of that. Because you can say, is it okay if I can hand it to him? that doesn't matter because unless it's being recorded, you could argue, did you have consent for recording and all that happy stuff? So it's easier to give it to a responsible adult. It could be an older sibling, not like a 14-year-old for a 10-year-old, to an 18, 19.
Yeah, as Chris says, yeah, don't sell a mallet to a kid then.
That's true. Well, you can. You sell it to the parent. Anything that's destructive or that could hurt them goes to the parent.
God, bugger me, that my fingers can be destructive if I wanted it to be.
Yeah, that's true.
I can
But that's
kill
attached
you
to
with one
you and you make
finger.
the decision. Well,
Mine's bigger than yours.
we're a litigious society. There are too many attorneys.
No, the world's gone bloody crazy. Nobody accepts responsibility for their own actions anymore if you can blame somebody else.
Well, you can't blame a minor on anything because they're a minor here by law, so you can't blame them. What you have to do to sue a minor or put a minor in jail is you have to waive the legality of being a minor.
I believe they're actually trying to drop the minor age now, or the classification of a minor.
Yeah, here it's 18.
Which makes no sense because you can go into the military at 18. You're still not an adult here. You can't drink. You can't smoke. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But you can go to war for your country. You can shoot a rifle.
And you can drink and smoke in the military. They treat you as an adult.
Exactly. Makes no sense.
Well, I remember when the drinking age was, I think, for 3 years, 18, instead of 21. And that was, it was an interesting experiment, and they found it wasn't a good, they found there was too many problems, so they raised it back up.
And as Effie says, and the father still has to pay maintenance until the child is 21. In Australia, it's 18.
And here it is not 21. It is soon as they graduate from high school. So 17 or 18.
Or if they're 14, once they've graduated, then that's the other problem by having that as a caveat. Because we had a kid at our public schools here graduate at 15. But there's still things, I mean, that you can't do as an adult until you're like going to a drinking establishment, that's a bar, where that's the major product they sell, and munchies and burgers and stuff are a secondary item. Then they still have an age limit on that. That's fixed by the alcohol and tobacco people.
Yeah. Effie says her brother had to pay child support after his child got married until 21 years of age. even though he's married.
That's weird.
Oh,
That
yeah.
I've never heard of. But that'd be a function of the courts.
Yep.
But then again, the kids, like we got one here in the house that turned 18, and it's like, now you're responsible for whatever you do yourself. So you get arrested, you're the one that goes to jail. Not going to bail you out. You're going to have to figure out what to do about that.
Well, simple answer to that is don't get arrested.
Yep, that's the answer that what everyone was after. Mommy and daddy, that they can't bail you out anymore.
Like, I'm going
Or
to
they
get a
don't
bit.
want to.
I'm going to get a bit vociferous here. Like, I love these buggers that put up videos where they're deliberately baiting the police by not. They think they know the law, but a policeman has the right to ask for ID at any time if they feel warranted. And there was one I was watching the other day where the bloke baited the police by taking photos of a chemical installation. And the copper comes up and said, "Oh, what's going on?" "Oh, I'm just taking photos and that." They've got a visitor centre and that, so it's public knowledge. What am I doing wrong? And the copper asked him for his ID, and he said, "No, I don't have to give it to you."
Yep, there's got to be reasonable cause. At least here it does. Reasonable
Yeah,
cause.
well, in my opinion, if you're photographing a plant, then it's reasonable cause to ask for ID.
Well, at the same thing too, if you're photographing Disneyland, Disney World, Disney Tokyo, how do we know you're not a potential terrorist that is looking for places that cause destruction?
Oh, that's right.
I mean, those are all potential exceptions that you could throw out.
And Effie said she's divorced now and disabled, but still paying child support. No, I have no qualms if a copper stopped me in the street and said, "Oh, who are you? What are you doing?" Then that might be a different story. But geez, if you're not doing anything wrong, what's the problem in handing over your ID? They'll soon find it anyway if they really want to.
Yeah.
And you're in for a heap of pain if they have to find out.
A lot of that, unfortunately, because it's not Big Brother, depends upon the municipality mostly and the state, what they can do. That's the old, I forget what, they used to have ordinances where they could stop anybody and use it as probable cause. Just a bunch of kids, under curfew time, if the community has a curfew by age, or within so many feet of certain establishments like striptease clubs, and where you could stand and look in the door, or bars where someone could slip you a beer. But they had a bunch of crazy rules that were causing problems, and the police were getting in more and more trouble, and people were getting records for doing nothing except hanging around talking because it was boring at home, because their parents, and oddly enough, they blamed it on only having one TV set in the household. It's because the parents were watching TV, and what they were watching is just old soap operas or old movies. So they were hanging out with their friends before computers.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, Chris. It's all about getting views. They don't care about what happens. Wankers. I must admit we're a bit different here in Australia. Like if you get pulled over, they don't approach the vehicle with hands on guns or anything like that. The first thing I do is get my wallet out, take my license out, because I know they're going to ask for it. But in 9 cases out of 10 now, with their number plate registration and everything, recognition, they know all about you before you've even stopped.
Yep, that's so true. It's so automated in some areas where they already know, like the state of Virginia, they have a law a long time ago, and they were a pilot area for it, where they would have traffic cams, and they could be able to know if you ran a light, you made an illegal turn, and the computer system caught it on a camera. They got pictures of you doing it, pictures of you in the car, pictures of the plate. So they'd send you the ticket automatically.
Yep, we've got that out there too. We've got number plate recognition on a couple of the freeways here that automatically flags vehicles that are unregistered.
Mm-hmm.
The copper's waiting at the end of the bridge or wherever for them.
Yep. They got those along the East Coast a lot on the highways.
And you want to know something? I reckon it's a great idea.
Yep.
Because if an unregistered vehicle runs into you in Australia, you have to fight like hell to get any money for accidents, because they don't have any insurance on the vehicle then.
It's kind of interesting here in Utah. We have vehicles that will drive around all day long. They have, like, on each side of the top of their car or truck or whatever, there are like these sensor camera things, and they'll just drive all day long, and all it does is just read license plates.
Good day,
And
Mark.
if it catches you, then yeah, you're busted.
How you going, Mark?
Yeah, 90% of our highway patrol cars now have number plate recognition on them, and they can get it going from behind or from front.
Yep.
Ooh, driving home from London, that's late at night. Mark? Jeez.
Early in the morning.
Early in the
No,
morning,
it's not.
yeah.
Wait
He
on.
just about have the road to himself, eh?
I don't think in London you'd ever have the road to yourself. Oh, 3 o'clock in the morning. What have you been out on the tear, Mark? And how are you feeling, Mark?
Driving home watching YouTube.
Oh, he's working. No, he's just stopped for coffee, so
I'm going to be heading, I don't know when, next month or maybe 2, off to Virginia so I can hit the hospital there for the Agent Orange treatment.
oh, yeah.
It's been 2 years since I've had the sit bath, and it helps rebuild the skin. At least that's what they claim. But at
Mark
least
said,
there you can sit in the tub and it's like a jacuzzi and the chemicals bubble. It's only from the waist down that bothers me because you walked in it, as a POW, you had to work in the rice paddies. So with splashing and everything from the knee down was where you have all the problems.
Mark said he's feeling grand. 2 more hours in my truck, then I'm off.
Oh,
I
good.
take it that you must be a truck driver, Mark.
Now wait a minute, isn't over in England that's a lorry, not a truck.
Well, yeah, LGVs, light good vehicles. We call them by the right name out here. They're trucks.
They're trucks.
27 minutes ago.
It's kind of interesting. I did a search for live London cams, and there's a bunch of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can do the same on Melbourne. Australia. I quite often use them if I've got to go on the freeway just to check what the traffic's like.
Yeah. Used to do that here all the time before I'd take a trip.
I'm looking at Trafalgar Square. Blackwall Tunnel. Oxford Circus, and there goes a great big huge bus.
Hey, the sun's out there, Jay.
Because I opened up my other door.
Ah,
I got to do some spray painting, so I figured it best I opened up all the doors I could.
That's a piece of your clothing?
It's just a jacket I wear in the shed. It's my outdoors jacket, as you could say, I suppose.
So you're going to start painting it.
I was going to say that looks familiar.
Yeah.
Don't tell Amber.
A striped jacket, like a prison jacket.
That's mine. It's my straight jacket. Sorry.
And Mark
Cameras
said,
all over the place. You can
Yeah,
even watch
look at
the
it.
traffic on the motorway network.
yeah, that's what I do sometimes if I need to take something somewhere during the day.
What I find interesting is we've got the big highway that it's 94 that goes across the state and ends up in Chicago. And about 2/3 of it now is tied to the internet.
Oh,
And if you
Jesus.
have GPS in your car, as you're driving, the GPS actually shows you on the screen in the car or gives you verbal warnings, gives the passenger, because the driver can't look at a screen, but it'll give the passenger a look.
Oh,
Is
the
the
driver
fact
can.
that it'll show the camera for the section in front of you, so you can see, in essence, what lanes, if there's a problem or slow down or whatever, construction, you can see ahead of yourself and you can pick whether you want 1 or 2 or 3 cameras. On some of the newer model cars, that's all built in as part of the software, so you can follow the highway cams.
All right, I've got to go. It's 12:15. It's lunchtime. Julie will be
All right.
killing me.
I'm going to
Thanks,
duck
Cameron.
out as well. I'll see you guys
All right.
later.
See you all
See you
later.
later.
Bye.
See you, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bada bing. Bada boom. And they're gone. We've got some black gloss.
Give you a tip that I got from a professional artist. When you shake a rattle can, shake the can holding it upside down.
Yeah, that's what I was doing most of the time.
Yeah, that's a, it makes sense, but person does what do you call it? Graffiti artwork,
Yep. Yep.
and gets paid to do it on sides of buildings.
Yep.
Oddly enough, communities and cities now, at least I haven't seen him in 2 years because of COVID, but he was going all over doing work on bridges and stuff like that within communities to where there was all sorts of graffiti and he would put a
Yeah.
picture on it and stuff like that over it,
Yeah, they do
cover
that
it
here
up with
too.
something nice.
Yeah, that was when GMH was here, the Holden's Motor Company. They
Yeah.
had a bridge going over a road that went to an industrial area, and that's where they got their parts from. They built their own bridge, so they didn't have to go around all the time. And they got graffiti artists to paint Australian scenes all over them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
they do it a lot.
the nice thing is when you have that, there's a product that's a clear coat that can be
Yep.
sprayed on, heavy commercially, and
Yep.
then nothing will stick to it.
Okay.
You can't get other paint. It kind of seals it in place.
Yep.
So it stops graffiti. Now, if you want a brick wall, the same thing. You can spray the brick wall down with it, and then paint won't stick. Except the problem is if it's a rough brick, then it can still get caught, but then it's easy to take off with a pressure washer.
Yep.
Because that type of art, it has become a big art since I knew it. Kids where people would just go put their "I love so and so" or "so and so is cheating on me" or that type of stuff, just to spray old billboards.
Yep.
Would you put the stuff away, please?
Just trying to dry it off a bit quicker, that's all.
Yeah.
Well, Amber's making my lunch now anyway, so it's not going to be far off knocking it on the head.
Yeah, I bought a heat gun here last year.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, I loved it. It was a 300, 600 watt gun, except it never would turn onto the 600. I'd flip the switch and nothing had happened. And I kept trying to figure out why, and I wrote the company. And I told them what was happening, and they said, well, yeah, because it's 300 at 120 volts, and it's 600 watts at 240. But you don't advertise it as that, because at 240 you get both voltage, you get both wattages, but you don't get it on 120. And they're selling it on Amazon as if it was based on 120. So I got a refund. I simply said, that's called false advertising. And I got an email within about a day on it and noticed that they'd put the money back.
Yeah. Very nasty.
Oh, I got it. I'm not going to drink it. Yeah, tomorrow.
Thank you for coming in, Effie. Have a good night, and have a good day tomorrow. See you later.
Yeah, we got Brendan back from his vacation.
In Chicago.
He just seemed to miss out on all the hot weather and the outside work.
Yeah.
But isn't that the goal of a teenager, to figure this stuff out?
Yep.
Then you're proud of them to figure that, hey, they were successful at dodging all the work.
Yeah. Alex, everything important in life. Woo. Ah, shit.
So, did he have fun at his mother's?
No butter to live.
Yeah, him and his sister, they had a lot of fun. And now to get his room back organized or reorganized, because teenagers change their mind
I mean,
on how he wants a room laid out, so we can get the gaming system set back up and the gaming table and the
I need
monitors.
to clean out my closet. I gotta build my bedroom, and I gotta put my bed together, and then I have to get a new charging shit for like my Chromebook and stuff. And I have to
What, you blew it? You got a charger that's bad?
no, but I need a charger for my Chromebook. Like the Chromebook charger that it comes with when you buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need one of those. A very low power charger, and it charges in like 5 hours.
Yep.
So was it Chicago or something that he went to?
Yep. The Windy City, it's called.
Yep.
Because of where it sits on the Great Lakes.
He liked Chicago. Did Chicago like him?
Well, he was out in the suburbs of it, but I
Yeah.
haven't known. He came in, and the first thing he wanted to do was get online with some of his friends.
Yep.
And old farts, they come last.
Yeah. Yeah.
Girls first, then their friends.
Yep.
Though they're online constantly with them, and it's live, when they do it.
Yeah.
They've always got a camera ongoing, and they don't talk without a camera anymore.
Yep.
Because they can make faces.
Yes.
So it's just a whole new society, this younger generation, and they're so enabled. They expect what, as kids, we used to dream of as a video phone, and in fact, all our cell phones are video phones. All of our cell phones are.
Yep.
whether you
That
like
was
it or not.
That was the thing of the future. Buck Rogers had one. Flash Gordon had one. Dick Tracy had one on his wristwatch. But it was all cartoon characters.
Yep. So, you're on.
That was a heck of a knock for lunch.
No, it was something different. That was angry cleaning mode, you know.
Oh, yeah, I've been that way. I spent an hour and a half with a sawzall and some chisels, concrete chisels.
Yeah.
Getting out, I got the wind last week, the big wind that hit everything and took us without power for 3 days.
Yep. The one that took
Also
your gate
took-
for a drive.
Yeah, and I've got it to the point where I'm reinforcing and rebuilding the gate. I've got one side done.
Yep.
And I've got the new post ready to anchor and fill with concrete. And I've got a bunch of concrete that I can mix up in small batches.
Yep.
So I have no trouble doing that. And I got the cribbing set up, or the braces that'll keep it vertical while it's hardening in the concrete.
Ooh.
I just got some big lag screws to get. They have to be 8 inches because I'm
Yep.
going to 2 4x4s. And these are actual cut 4x4s.
Yep.
So that ought to hold up it from going over in the wind again.
Hopefully.
And yeah, I was busy doing that today, and that took about 2 hours because by code here, you got to go at least 18 inches in the ground.
Yep.
So I've got this hole where I had to take the wood out all 18 inches deep.
Okay.
So it's busy with a big auger bit and extensions and drilling down and using the sawzall to get to the 4 corners of the wood once I had the hole in the center going.
Yep. All right, I'm going to turn this stuff off now. I'm going to stand out the way just in case it flicks everywhere. But
Don't get down your camera.
Whoa. Flicky, flicky. See that?
Yes. Just don't get it on your camera lens.
That's right. The camera's off to the side a little bit, fortunately.
Well, what's it look like now if you stopped it?
So I need to get that last bit there. Oh, it took a lot of the gold out. Took a lot of the gold out.
Well, put some more on.
Yep.
And let it sit a little longer.
I'm gonna knock it on
Do
the
it
head.
after lunch.
Yeah, I got me knock on the window. Yeah.
Well, we'll catch you tomorrow night then.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, my pleasure. Talk to you later and have a good day.
Yeah, you too. All right. Try that again. Take 2. Maybe not put so much on this time, eh? That's hard to my wood, isn't it? Make sure it gets down into that texturing that I've put on there. Alright, that might be a bit better. Yeah, that's much better.
Leave that to soak in for a little while. Bit of heat to help it soak in a bit. Yep. Just meant to be a ever so light fleck. That's all, just to catch the eye every now and then, you know. Other than that bit of paint that come off there. I'll let it soak in a couple of hours, come back out after lunch. Thanks very much for watching. Take it easy. Don't forget to hit the like button, mate.